Well, the 2013 football season is finally here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry, alongside Tennessee Tech head football coach Watson Brown. I'm your host, Buddy Pearson. The Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles open up this season this Thursday night at Tucker Stadium by hosting Cumberland University at 7 p.m. Coach, we've been waiting for, about 9 months now. The season's finally here.
It is here, and the entrance, you see the Watson Brown Show on the, when it came in, how silver it was. It kind of goes with, it kind of matched my hair.
Yeah, but that's distinguished.
Look how much whiter it's gotten in a year. That's what all those injuries did a year ago.
That's what that season last year would do for you.
We're excited. We're ready to go. It's time to play somebody, and it's getting close, and players are ready to play, and let's get it on.
You know, last season you talk about it was a disappointment. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong. After that season ended, how has spring practice, fall workouts, how's everything been coming into this season?
It's been very upbeat. I think everybody is eager to try to prove ourselves again. 2 years ago we won the championship and we're flying high. Honestly, buddy, we thought we were good enough to be right in the mix again, and then everything fell apart and we just had a tough go. So the off season has been good in a way of can't wait to play some opponents again and reprove ourselves. And now we get that opportunity, and it's time to do that.
Well, you've been in this business long enough to know that there are several factors that go along with having a good season. Let's take a look at 3 keys that will help for Tennessee Tech to have a winning season in 2013. This segment is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast in Cookeville. Key number 1, the luck of being healthy. Coach, nobody knows that better than we do. Last year was just awful health-wise.
It was just an unlucky go, buddy. The year before, I think we had 4 people injured, missed games, and 2 were operated on last year. 38 players missed games and 24 surgeries. It just started and it just never stopped. We dealt with it all year long. We've got to be lucky. I really believe in this league and on this level, playing with the same guys week after week after week is a big piece of it, and hopefully this year that'll happen for us.
We know in the OVC there's a lot of great offenses, but key number 2, defensive improvement, including maybe causing some more turnovers.
I think stops, causing more turnovers. You get stops by getting them in long yardage and making a third down stop, third down conversions, and second way you get the ball back is through a turnover. I think our defense is going to be improved. I said at the start of the year at the preseason media days, I thought the most improved defense would be the one to win the championship this year. The offenses are still going to be good. Last year was a phenomenal offensive year in this league. I think our conference was the leader in number of points and in the country, offensive points. Yeah. So I think the league will be good offensively. I think the best defense this year will end up winning the championship. We'd like to think we're much improved there.
And you have a new defensive coordinator, Don Landholm from Eastern Kentucky, replacing Billy Taylor. Any changes then on defense?
Really that we're going to run the same system that we've been running. And Don has come in, accepted this system, got spring ball with it before Billy left us. And I'm proud of Don. This hadn't been an easy transition for us, buddy. 2 weeks before we started practice, we lost our defensive coordinator. So I'm proud of Don and the defensive coaches. They put in the long hours here down the stretch, and I think we're going to be improved on defense.
And key number 3, getting back to playing Golden Eagle style of football. What's Golden Eagle style of football?
Well, it's fast. We believe in making you play as many plays defensively as we can make them play. We want to be 80 plays or more on offense. We want our defense to play 65 or less. We hit those goals 2 years ago when we won the championship. We had to leave the style by mid-season because we lost so many players. You play that style in a way of you got to be deep to do that, and it's proved that we were deep a year ago to even be able to be competitive like we were and have all those people out. We have a lot of those guys back now, and we want to play a lot of players on our opponents, and we want to make the games as long as we can. And also we want to play fast. We want our defense to play fast, and when they know where they're going, go full speed to the ball. We want to look like a very athletic, fast football team. So there's more pieces to that than it looks, but that's what won a championship here 2 years ago. We got to get it done again this year.
Yeah, obviously those are 3 very good keys. Of course, one key to or one piece of the big puzzle each year is the schedule. Tennessee Tech with a very challenging schedule again this year, and it starts by going to Wisconsin. Well, it starts with Cumberland, then you go to Wisconsin.
A good Cumberland team. Mark Wilson likes to find those guys that are good at that point. You know, it was like when we went to TCU. They were ranked second. That's the first time they've been ranked second in 30 years. That's when we put them on the schedule. Cumberland comes in ranked 20th in the country. They'll give us a good challenge. Of course, their coach is now on our staff, and that'll motivate them even more. Take off to Wisconsin, and then go from there to return the game that we played Hampton here a year ago up to their part of the country. So we got a really nice start of the season before we jump into conference play.
Yeah, and some very good conference games at home this year. Tennessee Tech's for the quest for the York Trophy. Really going to be helped by the Tennessee teams coming to Cookeville. You got TSU, you got Austin Peay, you got UT Martin, all of them coming to Cookeville. Coach, that's got to help.
The whole schedule changed this year. We're playing some of the people that we played on the road again on the road. We're playing some people we played at home again at home. So that's why the whole schedule now has changed. The way it changed to, we either play all the state schools on the road or we play all the state schools at home. We got them all starting with TSU, finishing with Austin Peay. On our schedule, and that's going to be neat. That's why I think this might be the best home schedule in maybe history. You've got 4 state schools coming to town. You have a opponent that was in the playoffs in Indiana State last year, and you've got homecoming Jacksonville State, which is one of our arch rivals. It is a fantastic home schedule.
And conversely, you've got some tough road trips besides going to Wisconsin and Hampton. You look down in November, you've got to go to Eastern Illinois and Southeast Missouri back-to-back weeks in November.
You know, buddy, we won. We were 4-0 on the road 2 years ago when we won the conference championship. We were 2-2 at home that year, and we were 4-0 on the road. Our players don't care. It doesn't bother us to go or to play here. We look forward to those games. We want those games to matter, meaning that we're in the hunt for the championship or the playoffs still at that point late in the year. And if we're in the hunt, I promise you we'll be ready to play when we take to the road with those 2 games.
Well, the Golden Eagles have lots of returning players that fans will be familiar with this season, but they've also got some players that are poised to have a breakout year. We want to take a look at some of those players now who may be primed for having a big breakout year, Coach. We got 5 names for you. This segment sponsored by Miller Lite. Let's start with Jordan Carroll. Obviously, a kid that looks very good.
Jordan is playing linebacker for us. He was an outside linebacker or inside linebacker as a junior. A really good football player. He's a big kid. He's 6'3", 245 as an inside linebacker. Has come in and been an impact player for us already. He's a backup linebacker. I think he plays right now behind Trey Goff. And we're excited to get Jordan on the field and let him go. He's a coach's son. Came from a really strong program, Briarwood Christian out of Birmingham. So he has a great football background, and I think that's why he's one of those freshmen that I think will be an impact football player this year.
Yeah, definitely has size and looks like he's got some speed. Next one, Jared Davis. He's a quarterback from Tullahoma. That kid's got skills.
You can tell his size. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. He can run and throw. He's from right here in the Middle Tennessee area, and he's important to us. You've got to have a solid backup quarterback. Our quarterback's going to carry the ball. The ball's going to be in Darian Stone's hands a lot. I would be very surprised if Jared David doesn't have to play some this year. He's had a good preseason. I think he's improved from spring, and we've got a lot of good young quarterbacks in this program. Jared is the next one that's been here a year, and that's why I think he's getting this opportunity. He's got more reps than the other quarterbacks in practice, and I think that's why he's a little bit better than the rest of them right now.
So he is definitely the number 2 quarterback.
Absolutely.
Now we got Malik Hall. He's an athlete, freshman from Clarksville, played at Kenwood High School.
Malik is one of those athletes that could play anywhere. We started out putting him a little bit at corner, moved him back to a running back receiver type position. You can see he's a strong-looking young man that can really got great feet, quick feet, good hands, just a great athlete. He was a returner also. He will be back there on our, very well could be back on the opening kickoff of the season, and as a punt returner to go along with Ladarius Van Leer. So excited to have Malik here, very highly recruited young man on this level, and from Clarksville. Just a kind of a steal for us to get him to come to Cookeville, Tennessee, and people will see him for the next 4 years.
It's always good to build depth on the line, and you've got Matt Martin, who is primed for a big kid, primed for a breakout season.
Matt was from Battleground Academy, BGA, in Nashville. We redshirted Matt last year. Probably should have played him, to be very honest. We did our best to hold on and redshirt him. Now I'm glad we did. You can see he's good size, and
he hasn't missed too many meals, has he?
And he's got great feet. I think he's a future All OVC player. He will start Saturday night at left tackle.
Really?
He's the only offensive lineman that hasn't played any football for us, but he's just had such a great spring and preseason that he has made it to number 1 at left tackle, and left tackle is the hardest place on our team to play on the offensive line. That and center, I think, are the 2 hardest places to play. We had to move James Norman to center to solidify that for us, and so the left tackle spot was open. Matt's doing a really good job. Going to have a great career here.
Now, one of these kids I've been hearing a lot about, Kevin Robinson-White, freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio. I hear he's a beast.
He's a strong, good-looking guy. I don't know what we've got here of tape with him, but he's a solid 6'1", weighs, that's a little heavy. He's about 310, strong, a 400-pound bencher. Is a second-year freshman. He was coming here a year ago. Academically, we didn't hardly make it, and then he was able to come this year with us and took some community college classes and got himself eligible, and now so he's a year older freshman. He'd be like he was redshirted here, but now he has 4 years to play. He will play in a backup role in the first game of the year against Cumberland.
Well, besides seeing some of these great breakout players that'll be suiting it up for the purple and gold this year, there's going to be a lot of activities, a lot of fun events going on at Tennessee Tech home football games. You saw the schedule. Now let's take a look at some of the promotions that we have coming up for you at Tucker Stadium. This Thursday night, Community Night, First Tennessee Bank Poster Night, and running of the freshmen. Dr. Oldham is going to lead the entire freshman class out onto the field before you guys run out.
I hear he's been working out a lot, and
yeah.
he's ready to do this, and he's going to run about a 4.240 as he turns that corner, and we may have a tough time staying with the freshmen as we come out on the field, buddy. I don't know, but we're prepared for it. That's a neat idea, and Dr. Oldham has just been fantastic since he's come to town, and glad to have him as our president for sure.
Against TSU, Football Legends Night, got a lot of Tech alumni coming back. September 20th against Indiana State, Faith Family Youth Night. Then you've got Golden Eagle Blackout Part 2 against UT Martin. Last year that was a big hit with the students, some great T-shirts that were available, and I hear the T-shirts are going to be even better this year.
I don't know. They were pretty good last. That's been one of the great things as I've gone around the state, and I was even in Alabama, and the guy walked up to me in the grocery store and said, "I got to have one of those shirts." I said, "Bud, you're going to have to wait till October to come and get the next one." But 3 straight great games in a 4-week period, buddy. We got to make hay right during that time. TSU, Indiana State, and UT Martin coming to town over a 4-week span there. I think it's 4 weeks, and great football for our fans right there in a row.
There's something for everybody throughout the entire season, and Coach, I know it's so important to have people in the stands, and the players love to have a big crowd at Tucker Stadium.
Buddy, our crowds have grown every year. The tailgating, our people do a great job with all that, and the one thing I've always said, and I believe to be true, if we can just get them there once, they'll come back. Yeah. It's an exciting night. There's a lot of things going on around the game. Our kids always play hard. I say all the time, they got a chance to cheer and they got a chance to boo usually when we play, because we may not do everything right, but we play full speed. And so I think we're fun to watch, but we do need help. I think the better those crowds are on home games, the better we play, the more it motivates our kids, and we just ask for them to come out and give us that shot.
Yep, and we're motivated to have some more Watson Brown Show coming up. Stay with us. The show will continue in just a moment.
With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.
Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Well, it's time now for our Golden Eagle Player Profile, brought to you by IWC Cash and Carry. This week we visit with senior defensive back Marty Jones.
I'd say the person that had the most influence on my career up to this point has been my grandfather. He really was the inspiration for me to start playing football, and he just set such a precedent for being a good person and doing everything to the best of your ability that it's just been an honor to be able to carry on that legacy for him. Well, 2 years ago, I broke my ankle in the last play of the last scrimmage before we played against the University of Iowa, and I missed the entire year. And then last year I came back healthy, and I played against Hampton, and then the first quarter of the second game against North Greenville, I came up and made a tackle in the hole and had some guys kind of fall on me, and I went down and tore the Liszt Frank ligament in my foot. So I missed the rest of that year, and I had 2 surgeries, and I'm back now. I'm ready to play. I'm healthy as ever, but I mean, it was difficult. You know, a couple years ago, I watched Tennessee Tech go on and win the first OVC championship in 36 years. A team that I was supposed to be a big part of that I didn't necessarily feel like I contributed to. So that was difficult. And then last year, it was hard to see my teammates struggle through so much adversity. I wasn't the only person who went down with an injury. There were a lot of us, and we had to sit back and watch as our team kind of struggled to come together as a unit, and we went 3-8, and it was difficult for all of us. Well, having a season-ending injury it's kind of a career-altering event that happens to you, and I think that one of the hardest parts about it is the recovery phase, because when you're out there under the lights and working hard in the weight room with all these guys on the team that I mentioned before, it's easy. It's easy to push yourself to be the best that you can be. It's hard when you're out there running on the field by yourself, when you're doing different foot drills to try and push yourself, but you really find out what's important to you, and it makes you a man, and you really find out what you're made of. And I think that I'm coming back now to a point where I know myself and I know exactly what I want to accomplish and how I want to get there. And as a unit, I think that my leadership and my perseverance through this adversity can really help us become a really strong defense. I'm Marty Jones.
Coach, how glad are you to have Marty Jones back on the field?
He is the leader of our defense, and we've lost him early both seasons, and we made up for it in the first one. I'm not sure we did last year. He was the first injury, I think, of that whole group of 24 surgeries, and but he was still probably the most devastating one guy that we lost. I'd say he and Trey Lamb, our quarterback, would be the other one, and having his leadership back is just, it's been fantastic. And I think that you'll see a difference in our defense, and Marty's going to be a piece of the reason why.
Yep. Well, it's time now to go inside Golden Eagle football, and this is brought to you by Pepsi. This week we take a look at a day I always enjoy, OVC Media Day.
First of all, just talk about OVC Media Day and how it's really the official start of the season.
Well, this kicks off everything, and in a couple weeks you'll see the players on campus. So when the coaches and the select student athletes come here, that's when everybody knows that you're going to be seeing some football very soon.
Watson Brown, he's a very familiar figure here in Nashville. How do you observe him at Media Day?
Well, everybody knows him. Obviously, he played here and he's coached around the area, and now he's been at Tech for a while. So him interacting with people, they want to hear what he's saying, because he's done it all from a player standpoint or from a coach standpoint. So when he speaks, people will really respect what he has to say. And last year I kind of had a couple injuries after winning it 2 years ago. So what he has to say about his team, people want to know what the Golden Eagles are going to be like this year.
Wrapping up the first of 2 Media Days. This is OVC Media Day. You still have ours ahead of us. What do you learn at Media Day?
I don't learn anything. All it does is get your blood flowing. You get ready to play. I think you see the players. Our players are here. The players you're going to play against, the coaches. Everybody is positive. I think it. When I leave today, I always know it's on. It's time to start another one.
The picks, you guys are picked 6th in the preseason. What kind of stock do you put in the picks?
Those guys with us that are here, Zach and Marty, have been here a long time. They've never heard me talk about that. If we've been picked 2nd or 3rd or 1st or 9th, I mean, I've never brought it up. Doesn't mean a hill of beans to me. We were picked 7th when we won it 2 years ago, so I don't look at that. I look at what we have coming back, what are our pluses and minuses, what's the teams we're going to play as pluses and minuses, and I think we're going to be one of those teams that'll be there. We got to be lucky, but at the same time, I don't think anybody's better than us, and I'm not sure we're better than anybody in the league either, so I think it's going to be a fun year.
And that was Tennessee Tech Sports Information Director Rob Schreiber asking those questions. And, Coach, you just love to ham it up for the camera, don't you?
Can't you tell? Jeez, I don't think Zach's had a haircut since he got injured.
I wasn't going to say anything.
He looks good, though.
He looks good. I'm just
and,
glad to have him back.
Am I glad to have him back too, and anxious to watch him play here in a few nights too.
But you have something like an OVC Media Day. It's good to see those players come out and get to talk to the media. And like you said, that does just kind of get you fired up for football.
Totally does. You get to see the opponents and what they're saying, getting around all the coaches and knowing what they've done during the year. I leave there saying it's time. Let's hook it up and let's get going and let's play some ball. That's always the starting point to me.
Well, we have a new segment this year where we take a look at former TTU student athletes and see what they're up to now in our Where Have They Landed segment, brought to you by FCS Football. This week, we see where former running back great Larry Schreiber has landed.
Well, at Tech, I came in '66, and I was the tailback, and I played 4 years there, and then I got drafted by the San Francisco 49ers and played 6 years there as a fullback, and then I got traded to Chicago, played a year, and in the preseason tore my hamstring off, and that ended my career. That was the 8th year of being on a professional team. And so I was on injury reserve that year, and that was the finish of 1977. Well, I really enjoyed playing for Coach Tucker. He had a man with a lot of integrity, and he had a lot of good qualities. And it made it easy to be able to play with a guy. I'm a pretty well-driven team player, and I have to play for my teammates and coaches, and that made it easy to have a coach that you enjoyed playing for. So, I mean, I'd have to say on that aspect, football-wise, that was really easy. Well, right now I live in south of San Francisco. It's about 30 miles, and it's called a little town called Woodside. And at the moment, I am the president of the NFL Alumni Chapter of Northern California. Been doing that for 25 years. Been the president for the last 5 years. And I sell real estate in the area, residential real estate, and did some developing in different parts of the country. Yeah, I actually have a job with the NFL where I go and inspect the uniforms for the 49ers. Each team, a teammate of mine, Gene Washington, was working for the NFL, and they would send a player, or they'd send somebody from the front office in the NFL in New York to every game to inspect the uniforms. So he got an ex-player in each city to do the away team and the home team of that city. So I do it for San Francisco, MacArthur Lane does it for Oakland, and so on for the other games. So we help each other out if somebody can't do it. So I inspect the uniforms. I go 2 hours before the game, and so I'm involved that way. I'm Larry Schreiber, and that's where I landed.
Of course, Larry lands here in Cookeville a couple of times a year, but especially for that Golden Eagle Football Alumni Golf Tournament that he helped create, and that's always a big, big time for you guys.
Buddy, we have some great segments. This is fantastic, and this is one of my favorites to see where some of the older guys, we got a great tradition, great history of Tech football, and I'm not sure that's not the best running back that's ever played at Tennessee Tech. Man, there's been some good ones here.
Yeah.
But I would put Larry up against any of them. Tougher nails, and Larry is close to my age, and so I was around rehabbing some when Larry was playing here. He was on some really good teams too, and but we're very proud of Larry, and Larry has been a big help to Tech football since I've come back to town, and in his moral support and also financially. So we're very, very proud of him.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about this week's opponent, Cumberland University. You don't want to go away. Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Well, the Golden Eagles open up this Thursday night by hosting Cumberland University at Tucker Stadium. Coach, what do the Bulldogs from Lebanon look like this year?
Well, a solid team, a lot of returners. The 4 places they're very good are the places you want to be. They're all 5 offensive linemen are back, a lot of experience there, and a really good quarterback. He's made a lot of plays for them through a lot of their wins. And then the defensive line is pretty much returning intact, and it's good solid defensive line, and 2 returning corners that are good players. So good places to be returning, and we'll have to play a very good game. There's no doubt about it. They've played Chattanooga really close one year, a couple of years back. They played Austin Peay a really good game. We played Cumberland back 5 or 6 years ago. they're much better than they were at that point, and much better players than they had that year. I remember playing them, and so we're going to have to play well. We know that, but it's kind of the epitome of the season. There isn't one of those where you just get to mark it and give me. We just got to go play hard.
Yep, and we should have them scouted very well because the former Cumberland University head coach Dwayne Alexander is now on your staff. He came on in the spring, and it's great to have Coach Alexander back.
But buddy, he's done a great job. We're glad to have Dwayne. He's done a great job with the offensive line. He's helped me with a lot of different little administrative things after being a head coach himself. He loves Tennessee Tech. He played nose guard here and was a really good player himself, and just loves Tennessee Tech, and glad to have him. He does know a lot about Cumberland. That's a plus for us. The plus for them is it motivates them a little bit more. I'm sure they'd love to repay him a good goodbye as they come up to Cookeville to play. But they were going to be ready to play anyway. This is a big game for them, and it's kind of like us getting to play the University of Tennessee in some ways. And we know they're going to be ready to play, but so are we. We're excited about playing our first game, and I think we'll play well.
Yep, season opener this Thursday night, Tennessee Tech against Cumberland University. You can listen to the game on KISS FM. You can also watch it on WCTE, but come on out, support the Golden Eagles. For Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown, I'm Buddy Pearson. We'll see you next week on the Watson Brown Show.
The Watson Brown Show has been brought to you by IWC Cash and Carry, Wendy's Breakfast in Cookeville, Miller Lite, and Pepsi.